To you people, a very good day to you people. My name is Mohit, and guys, today I'm going to talk about signs and symptoms of vitamin B12 deficiency. Something that I've been through, and once I overcame the issues, I started a WhatsApp group. There are about 30 individuals in that group right now. And having interacted with these individuals over the last many months, haven't kept account, but it must be around 7-8 months at least. Okay, having talked to several individuals over several minutes, sometimes even more than an hour, I probably am the right person to be speaking about signs and symptoms of vitamin B12 deficiency. Yep. So, see, I'm not at the mercy of this article. Actually, I've just kept this article as an easy reference. Okay? Just as an easy reference so that I don't forget anything. I will just go through these topics like weakness and fatigue, or pallor, pale or jaundiced skin, etc., etc. So I do not forget anything. But when I talk to people, I really don't need any reference because I've been through it, and I have spoken to so many individuals who have been through it. Now it's become second habit to speak about it. I do not have to, because this is not bookish knowledge. This is all practical knowledge. Okay, so let me start from the very start. 2019 is when I actually suffered vitamin B12 deficiency. My mother, who is right now not with me, used to be with me in those days, and in the middle of the year 2019 she would comment quite often, Mohit, you are looking, your complexion has improved and you're looking, in Hindi we say gora, okay? I was looking kind of pale, kind of milkish, and I was happy about it. I used to, confront the mirror and be happy about it. I actually thought, that I have become a fair complexioned person, not realizing that this is the start of some vitamin deficiency. It only happened suddenly that I was sitting on the bed with my son, and his foot was very close to my foot, and suddenly I realized, I said, Aryan, in Hindi I said, I'll translate it into English in a while. I said, Aryan beta, तेरा पैर जो है ना मेरा पैर तेरे से कितना गोरा है, which means that my foot is so much more paler than yours, or fair in color than yours. Okay, but at the same time I realized that his foot was reddish and mine was as if there was no blood. That was the first, the first suspicion in my mind that raised a question: is everything okay with me? But anyways, I ignored it. And then in the last week of July 2019, I had a stomach upset for 2 days. So normally if you have a stomach upset for 2 days, I'm not one person to be taking any medication so easily. So all I would take is maybe lemon juice, electral powder, okay, and if the situation really got out of hand, maybe one capsule of loperamide, maybe I don't even remember taking it, but that would be, really in a drastic emergency situation. So I healed by the second evening. I was okay by the second evening, and I was expecting to be normal by the third, fourth day, but I realized that I was getting, give me a minute. So this pale or jaundiced skin is something that I've already talked about. I mistook my fair complexion to be something good, but it was actually pale or jaundiced skin. Okay, 1 second. Weakness and fatigue. Yeah, we are discussing this point now. So, on the third day or the fourth day after the stomach upset, I really don't know what it was. Maybe it was. Anyways, I don't want to get into the etiology of what it was. So I was better on the I was okay on the second day, but my weakness and fatigue were not going. Even on the fourth day, I kept wondering there is something wrong. By the fourth day, I should be, doing all my chores, my work, my responsibilities, just like I was doing earlier. But I was getting breathless, and I was not finding enough energy in me. So there was definitely energy depletion. Energy depletion. Okay, so my energy was not up to the mark. So I think it took me 7 days before I could feel okay again. And that was the last week of July. On the 2nd or the 3rd August, I got influenza. Now that was the influenza of my life. That influenza could have killed me, and I'm not joking. I had fever for it was not COVID. 2019. Listen to me carefully. It was not COVID. And I had fever for, I don't get fevers. Very unusual to be getting fever for, I think, 2 days. By the third day, it was very mild, and but even after 3-4 days, as the fever subsided and things were kind of normal, except that I felt that I had some lingering chest infection. Now, I am not one to go to a medical doctor easily. I let the situation linger on just like that. Would you believe it? My energy levels were not coming back. A week passed, 2 weeks passed, 3 weeks passed, 6 weeks passed, and I could, for the first time, step out of the house after 1.5 months. I was so damn weak. I should have probably taken the decision to get hospitalized. But my hate for medical doctors is something I haven't spoken about a lot, but I really do hate them. But I realized something, that there is some pre-existing medical condition in my body that does not allow it to heal or recover very quickly. So what was that? And that was the vitamin B12 deficiency. See, whenever you have an energy depletion, come on Mohit, depletion, you should think of hypothyroidism, you should think of chronic stress, chronic insomnia, you should think of probably anemia, and you should think of vitamin B12 and vitamin D3 deficiency without even going to a doctor. Because as I said, I hate them like crazy, and I don't make a secret out of it. And there are several reasons, and my reasons are very justified. Okay, so I instantly started with supplements of vitamin B12 and vitamin D3. But as I was walking now, I was homebound for 1.5 months. Now that really upset everything. That upset my life, my work, my responsibilities. I was a burden to my family. They were worried. They were helping me, but they were very worried. And my son used to push me, Papa, आप डॉक्टर के पास क्यों नहीं जाते? Dad, why don't you go to a doctor? So, but as I said, I had started to be ambulatory after 1.5 months. But the strength was not coming back. I was not the same person I was before the influenza. It was some kind of an influenza. Okay, but the influenza was not responsible. There was a pre-existing condition in my body that was making me weak and fatigued. So weakness and fatigue is the second symptom, guys. And then sensation of pins and needles. Okay, we'll come to that. So what was happening after 1.5 months is that I was getting bouts of dizziness. I was getting disoriented, and I was getting disconnected from the world. Actually disconnected, as if your charger was taken off the power. So I could hardly make out things around me. These bouts of dizziness were increasing in terms of minutes and in terms of frequency. So initially there were 2 or 3 or maybe only 1 bouts of dizziness, and they were increasing. They would get into hours, and they were getting more and more in frequency. I was losing touch with reality. It was as if everything was a dream. I'm sorry this video is getting longer and longer, but I want to cover everything. It's when suddenly my brother arrived from Abu Dhabi, and I said, Rohit, you have come at a very good time, and I would need you to take me to a lab. Let's do some blood work. So I went in for the basic CBC and vitamin B12, serum vitamin B12. So vitamin B12 was around 225, and I had already started off with supplements. So it was 225. So initially it may have been lesser. So the CBC showed that the RBC was marginally less, hemoglobin was marginally less. Also was discovered in blood work that serum iron was really at the lower end, borderline lower end. Folic acid was also borderline lower end. I don't remember the values now. It's been like almost 2 years now. Okay. So, and while talking about the symptoms, while I was sleeping, the sensation of pins and needles in my hands and feet, called peripheral neuropathy, was increasing. So in the middle of the night, I would find one of my hands sleeping, or both my hands sleeping. Then I would shake my hands, shake myself, move my fingers a little bit so I could come out of that feeling. I was as if I was paralyzed. But shaking myself a little bit, the hands and feet would come back to life. Slowly also what happened, my memory was going down and down and down and down. Let's say I got up early in the morning, and I would have to heat water because everybody in the house was sleeping. I would keep the vessel on the gas stove, and I would forget it. I would burn it. Suddenly, something burning would tell me that I've forgotten something. I would rush to the kitchen. I would clean the utensil, the vessel, fill it up again with water. Sorry about that. And then, really sorry guys, really sorry. Okay, and then I would fill it up with water again, put it back on the stove, and I would burn it again. And that was, that said, okay, the memory is gone for a toss totally. You can burn one vessel, you can't burn 2 vessels subsequently, one after the other. So the memory was bad. Suddenly also I realized that I was walking like a drunkard. My feet were going here and there. I was walking like a snake. And I also realized that I could fall in the washroom. So going to the washroom, taking a bath was very risky. I would have to hold the walls while walking. And I had this feeling that I could have a fall anytime. So my balance was shot. That's the way I put it. So I had the sensations of pins and needles, and my balance was shot. And so the changes to mobility. You see that? And there was one occasion I actually got a real vertigo when everything around me was spinning. So I had to sit and then lie down, close my eyes. I was scared, and everything was moving. The bed was moving, I was moving, things were moving. And that was scary. It lasted maybe 2 to 5 minutes. So there were big changes to mobility. Okay, let's go down further. Glossitis, yes, this is common. So your tongue would be swollen, reddish. You might have mouth ulcers, and what you eat may actually irritate your tongue. So yes, this is a common symptom. Glossitis, smooth tongue, but swollen tongue. Breathless and dizziness. Oh, to get tachycardia, when your heartbeat would be rushing, was very common with slightest of exertions. Something like just going from one room to the other. And dizziness in the end was kind of perpetual, continuous, never ending. It had become a part of my life. Just like my name is Mohit, just like I have hair on my head and teeth in my mouth, perpetual. Just like I am breathing all the time. So I had dizziness all the time. Earlier it were bouts, later it was perpetual, continuous, never ending. Maybe when I would get up in the morning, for some time it was not there, especially if I were doing pranayam, but otherwise it had become just like my soul, just like my body has soul, my brain has dizziness. Okay, so I was breathless at the slightest of exertions, and I had dizziness, perpetual dizziness. I couldn't, and I was always in a dream. I was always like a drunkard. Okay, disturbed vision, yes. So I stay in a high-rise building, and as I would look outside, across the road, I would have difficulty focusing. I could not look at bright lights. The bright lights would appear as if, a 100-watt bulb would appear as if it's 40 watts. Or it would appear so bright that I had to blink my eyes, and I couldn't stare at a bright source of light. So either it would seem like evening, even though it was afternoon, and the nights would appear so dark and gloomy to me. And I would be sleeping sometimes as early as 8 p.m. because I was so out of breath, so out of energy, and so out of everything, so out of fuel. So I would just want to sleep. And there was one symptom that slowly appeared, which was a feeling of getting scared. I was getting scared for no reason. My heart was sinking, and I don't know how else to put it. My heart was sinking, and I was getting scared. It was as if I was in a free fall. That the thinking of the sinking feeling was too much for me to take. A feeling of nervousness, feeling of something going wrong in my life. Actually what happens is, your nervous system is short, your nervous system collapses because your nerves demyelinate. They have a fatty layer called the myelin sheath, which is actually damaged. It has to remyelinate for you to be feeling normal again. It demyelinates, the fatty layer is damaged, the nerves are fragile and weak, and what actually happens is that your nervous system gets short. So you'll experience insomnia, depression, anxiety, everything. Okay, so mood changes, yes, these were becoming more and more common. Suddenly, I would have a feeling of euphoria. Euphoria is like cheerfulness, and within minutes, it would turn into a cloud of gloominess. So mood changes were becoming more and more common. Yes, that's true. And the last thing that they've talked about is high temperature. I never get temperatures easily, at least not in 2019. So I don't even agree to this statement, something that I haven't seen. Okay, peripheral neuropathy is common. Let me just sum it up because the videos become too long. So high temperature is something that you would experience probably if you have a vitamin D3 deficiency, for which you can actually take cholecalciferol sachets. But this video I want to confine myself to vitamin B12. Okay, so yes, depression, dementia, Alzheimer's like symptoms are common. Let me talk a little bit about the blood test. So as I said, my RBC and my hemoglobin were marginally less. Red blood cell distribution width, I think the normal value is up to 14. Since your the B12 is responsible for blood cell formation, you will see that the blood cells would be not be forming properly. They would be probably bigger in size, which would be seen in red blood cell distribution width. Not with everybody, but with many guys. With me it was higher than 14, so the cells would be bigger. Okay, that is one observation. Also, if you check your homocysteine, mine was actually more than double. I think the normal values should be around 15, up to 15 or up to 20. I don't really clearly remember now. It's been 2 years. But in my case, it was, I think, 35, 38, I think, which is too high. So why homocysteine goes up high is because it's a byproduct of vitamin B12 deficiency. Also, a byproduct of vitamin B12 deficiency is methylmalonic acid, MMA, urine, not serum, urine. Okay, so these are byproducts of vitamin B12 deficiency. You can confirm a vitamin B12 deficiency only if these two values also come disturbed. Your folic acid might be on the lower end, serum iron might be on the lower end, hemoglobin, RBC might be on the lower end, red blood cell distribution width might be higher. Okay, so it's not that easy to actually be absolutely sure. And what is the normal range, what is the normal values for different countries, for different regions, for different labs? It's different, but roughly it would be around 200 to 900. Now in many videos, I'm going to wind up the video now. In many videos I've heard many doctors and medical professionals say, if you are a vegan or a vegetarian, you are no. I'm going to shoot you through the head for making such a statement. If you are a vegetarian, you can easily have serum B12 in the range of even 500, 600. Absolutely okay with that. Okay, you don't have to be eating eggs, you don't have to be eating meat, chicken or fish to have a good value of vitamin B12. You are what you absorb, you're not what you eat. Okay, so to say that you might have a B12 deficiency just because you're a vegetarian is BS, bullshit. Okay, talk to you never, Mr. Doctor, talk to you never. If you make statements like, since you're a vegan I can understand. Vegans need to have methylcobalamin 500 micrograms 2 to 3 times a week. That's the maintenance dose. And they need to have iodine from the iodized salt. These two supplements they need to take if you need to turn vegan. But if you are a vegetarian, I would rather say don't have milk, but have milk in the form of yogurt, milk in the form of buttermilk, and milk in the form of lassi. Okay, I don't know the English for this. Sweetened, it's a sweetened beverage, fermented beverage. Okay, then don't rely, once you get a B12 deficiency, don't rely too much on supplements. Isolated, concentrated, fragmented nutrients do disturb the balance of other nutrients and are not so sustainable like real foods. See, you talk to me and I'll tell you, you join my WhatsApp group and I'll tell you the solutions. I'll tell you the vegan solutions. Forget about vegetarian solutions. I'll tell you the vegan solutions to getting back your B12. Nice and easy and quick. Okay, this video may have gone up like how much? More than 20 minutes. I don't know whether people have the patience to be with me for so long, but I can tell you, I don't want to boast about it. I just want to say that I have experience. I have been through it. The doctors are just talking bookish, okay, and rubbish. Because if a doctor says that since you're a vegan vegetarian, you have this deficiency, don't lie through the teeth because you don't know nothing. Okay, metformin, antacids, acid blockers, things like proton pump inhibitors like propanozole, rabeprazole, omeprazole. They affect the acid levels and they affect the B12 absorption. So stuff like things like conditions like inflammatory conditions of the bowel, colitis, Crohn's, and any surgery, weight loss surgery will affect the absorption of the B12. Metformin for diabetes will affect the absorption of B12. Hyperacidity, which might result in acid and acid reflux, will affect the absorption of B12. So B12 is basically not a vegetarian, non-vegetarian issue. Okay, please do not start taking eggs, fish, and beef or any other stuff just to counter it. You'll actually make it worse. In my group, I've had so many non-vegetarians, so many of them. I'm absolutely sure it does not matter. But yes, it's good if instead of milk you take little bit of curd, little bit. Okay, I stress the word little bit of buttermilk, little bit of lassi. Lassi is a sweetened beverage made from dairy. I really don't know the what do you call lassi in English? Anyways, I don't know. You can just go to Google Images and see what lassi is. Okay, so have it in that form, and a little bit means a little bit. Okay, don't start eggs, don't start fish, don't start to eat meat. Don't do that mistake. And join my WhatsApp group, time and talent permitting. I will definitely help you. Some people actually get suspicious of my intentions. Why I help people? I help people because you need some goodness in this world to offset the evil, or the world will collapse. Guys, you have a good day. Bye bye. Peace.